on Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Kozlowski?
Here.
Sheldon?
Here.
Gaylord?
Here.
Howell?
Here.
And Aquino.
Here. And if you're able to, if you'd please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any agenda updates?
You have no agenda updates this evening.
Okay, then we will move to business from the floor. This is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any item that's not on the agenda. And please understand that we are happy to listen to you and welcome your comments, but just please know that state law prohibits us from deliberating or taking action on items that are not on the agenda. So, Krista, if you could go ahead and facilitate that since you're there in the chamber.
Certainly. We'll begin this evening with a written comment that was submitted by Melissa Pieri that I will read into the record. And Melissa writes, "Good evening, City of Folsom City Council. I would like to thank the council for their leadership during these difficult times. My daughter plays for a soccer club that is located within the city's boundaries. At this time, soccer of any kind cannot be played on the city's fields. I know the city is bound by the order of the health officer of the County of Sacramento regarding COVID-19, but when it is allowed, I would strongly support the immediate opening of the City of Folsom's facilities for such activities. Our kids are suffering significant hardships that should be considered in the decision-making process. The local soccer club, as well as most, if not all, other soccer clubs and sports organizations in the region, have a phasing plan and protocol to follow once they start back up, but they need to start to get the process moving forward. I appreciate your consideration in this request and hope the council supports the immediate opening of the city's fields for this and other activities. Thank you, Melissa Pieri." Is there anybody on the audience tonight that would like to address the council? Okay, come on up, please. Madam Mayor, you do have at least one speaker this evening from the audience.
Good evening. Thank you for listening. I've been a Folsom resident here in historic Folsom for almost 20 years. I am here in light of recent goings-on in our community and our world to demand policy changes in Folsom to address racial and economic injustice that we have in our community. I have 10. 1, no chokeholds. 2, no body cams on at all times when officers are responding to all calls or when initiating any stop with the public. 3, evidence-based de-escalation training. By personal experience, I can tell you the de-escalation with your officers is not working. Next, data tracking of arrests, stops by demographic made public. Next, records of complaints filed against police and previous investigations for any investigations in criminal nature that could be compromising the integrity and safety of our community. If you have bad cops with bad histories on them, we know that their records are protected. My friends here will cover the renaming of Negro Bar. I would like Black History Month, during Black History Month, real Black history to be taught. I would like drug and alcohol clinics. We are a wealthy community. We have drug and alcohol issues on the streets. We are over-policing it rather than addressing it. We need a mental health clinic. Same thing. We have severe mental health issues out there, more so than anything, and they are being addressed by using policing tactics that are completely inappropriate. We also need affordable housing here for our communities, as we have increasing people who are unable to afford the housing. We also have young people faced without jobs. We are in, obviously, our country is in big trouble probably for the next few years. We need to address affordable housing. We need it now. And lastly, I asked you the question earlier about the requirement of masks for our public health servants. I have encountered on multiple occasions and have on film the gentleman who would not, one of our public health servants, who would not put on his mask until I got out my camera and said, I am filming this public health, our Folsom PD, who's out here less than 3 feet from one of our citizens. So thank you for listening to me. That is all.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak this evening? Okay, come on up. Madam Mayor, you have another speaker coming up.
Good evening. My name is Hannah Braidman, and I'm here today because 2 years ago, a Black woman named Federa Jones was driving through our town for the first time when she encountered our signs for Negro Bar. Knowing the demographics of our city, she was not only offended, but she feared for her life. I'm here today because that's not how we want our Black visitors to feel. We don't want them to feel fear. We don't want them to feel isolated. I'm here today because I am aware that this takes going to the state in order to change. I am about to enter my last year of law school, and I started law school to be a voice for those who cannot be heard. And right now, we are not listening to our Black community, who is desperately asking for change. When Mrs. Jones started her petition to rename Negro Bar 2 years ago, it had under 2,000 signatures. Today, we have over 65,000 signatures, and I was just on KCRA 3 at 5 p.m. this evening. I'm forming a Renaming Negro Bar Committee composed entirely of Black residents of Folsom, as well as hopefully one of you, members of City Council. Because not only are you an elected official who represents all of the people of Folsom, but you will give our movement more traction as we talk to the State Assembly and to the governor, because we know that the battle ahead of us is long, and the California State Parks has made it clear when they ignored Mrs. Jones that they do not care to name this state park, but we must make change today. I would like to also be clear that as a white woman, I know that my voice is not important to what the new name should be, and I will not be contributing anything to the Renaming Negro Bar Committee with the exception of a list of history that myself and my partner on this project, Sierra Wentz, has composed, as well as a list of suggestions from the community on what to rename Negro Bar. That is all. Should the committee decide that they want to name something not on that list of suggestions, I support it. Should the committee decide that the best way to represent our Black history is to use the words Negro Bar, I will stop my efforts immediately. I will have members of the Black community on this committee who are both for the name change and against it, because I know that all of their voices are important and all of their voices need to be amplified. They need to be uplifted. When Angela Davis said that it's not enough to just not be racist, you have to be anti-racist, this is what she was talking about. We cannot tell our town's history through the voices of the white oppressors. We know that that park used to be called the other N-word. And when that became antiquated, it was changed. Negro is an antiquated term unless it is used by Black organizations. The city of Folsom is not a Black organization. It is a city of diverse people. And Negro Bar is one of our most beautiful and most celebrated parks. And we need to have a new name for it that uplifts our Black community and tells our city's Black history through the narratives of Black people, not the white racists who called them the other N-word. Thank you so much, Madam Mayor, for responding to my email earlier. And I would like to make you aware that, again, this committee will be composed of Black members of the community who are more resistant to the change. However, again, I urge one of you to please, please join us in this fight, because right now, our Black community is being unheard, and that's not okay. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Hannah, very quickly, this is Sarah Aquino. I just want to make sure you know that I sent you and Sierra an email earlier today inviting you to a meeting, so just make sure you see that, and if you can respond with your availability.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. I will respond to that once I get home. Take care.
Thank you. Any others, Krista?
Is there anybody else this evening that would like to speak? Seeing none, I would say that closes business from the
Okay.
floor.
Okay, thank you. We will move on to the consent calendar. Is there anything that anybody would like to poll? If not, I will entertain a motion to adopt the consent calendar.
I'd just like to make a comment on 5. Oh, go, please. It's just a comment.
Yep, go ahead.
Mike, I want to thank whatever influence you had or can use at SACOG, and I absolutely positively want to thank our public works staff, particularly Dave Nugent and Mark Rackman, for trying to get some changes to how SACOG is viewing the regional projects, and in particular this previous policy has had a very, very adverse effect on the Southeast Connector. And this is a way to try to rectify that 20-plus years of bad decisions, in my personal opinion, on the part of SACOG with regard to funding for that project. So thank you to our staff for all the work they have done, and thank you to Mike for holding the torch on this one and trying to get them to agree to be more reasonable about it. And with that, I'll second the motion to approve the consent calendar.
Did we have a motion? Mike, was that you?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Any other comments? Questions? Okay, Madam Clerk, if you call the roll, please.
Councilmember Kozlowski,
Yes.
Sheldon,
Yes.
Gaylord,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
and Aquino.
Yes. And if you could call the next item, please, Krista.
Okay, your next item is new business item number 15, resolution number 10465, a resolution approving and certifying addendum number 2 to the environmental impact report for the Folsom South of US 50 specific plan project with a state clearinghouse number identified, and approving transfer of up to 5,000 acre-feet of water to state water contractors. Presenting this evening will be Environmental and Water Resources Director Marcus Yasutake, and for those of you following along, your PowerPoint presentation begins on page 301.
Good evening, Mayor Aquino, members of the council. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, indeed.
All righty, perfect. Thanks for the introduction, Krista. Again, Marcus Yasutake, Environmental and Water Resources Director. The item you have before you tonight is consideration for addendum number 2, as Krista mentioned, and included in that is a potential one-year transfer of up to 5,000 acre-feet of water from the city to the state water contractors. And in this presentation, I'll just go over how we got here and what this all means. So I'll go ahead and move to page 302 of your staff or of your agenda packet, which is slide number 2. And this is just the background that I plan to cover through this presentation. 1, Senate Bill X7-7, or it's also known as the Water Conservation Act of 2009, the city's system optimization program, which outlined how the city was able to make water available for the plant area. Addendum number 1 from December of 2012 to the EIS, Resolution 9097, which was also included with Addendum number 1, what we are doing under Addendum number 2, why we have to do that and what that covers, and then the proposed transfer. So I'll move on to page 303, slide number 3. Senate Bill X7-7 is also known as the Water Conservation Act of 2009. Many of you may be familiar with it, but what it is a requirement for a 20% statewide water use reduction by 2020, including the city of Folsom. There were various calculations the city was required to do. One was a baseline target, which consisted of a range of years of water use within the city, and calculating what they call a gallons per capita per day. So basically the gross water use within the city divided by the number of capita that was using that water. So as you can see, back in 2009-2010 period, when we first calculated this number, the baseline was 440 gallons per capita per day, or GPCD. In the legislation, we also had to have an interim target in 2015, which, when calculated, is 396, and the 2020 target is 352 gallons per capita per day. Just to give you some context of where we are now, so the actual 2019 calendar year number is 246 gallons per capita per day. So we have already met our 2020 target under SBX 7-7. The conserved water made available by the city's efforts that I'll describe shortly is also subject to California Water Code Section 1011, which does allow for the transfer or sale of that conserved water. It allows the city to retain the right to that conserved water, and the city even adopted a resolution recognizing the conserved water and the intent that the city can use that conserved water for other purposes. And then just to give some more context, between 2007 and 2019, the city has diverted a little bit less than 10,000 acre feet of water from during that time period. So in the last 13 years, the actual diversions from Folsom Reservoir are 10,000 acre feet less than what they were in 2007. Next slide, which is page 304, the city's system optimization review program. Basically, taking a 20-page document, it's really system improvements and other conservation measures to reduce overall water usage. And below are a list of actions, and this is also identified in the staff report, that the city undertook to make that water, that conserved water, available. So leak and loss detection and repairs. So essentially we go out and we identify where water is leaking in the system and make the appropriate repairs. Water metering, as many of you are aware, prior to 2013, the city was not billing based on a volumetric rate for the residential sector. It wasn't until January of 2013 that the city began fully metering all residential customers. Prior to that, residential customers were on a flat rate, so there really wasn't any incentive at the time for a residential customer to necessarily watch their usage. Implementing the California Model Water Efficient Landscape Ordinance, I believe this has gone through maybe 2 revisions since 2010. So we worked closely with the Community Development Department when this initially came out, and then in subsequent upgrades, as they are in charge of reviewing and identifying these plans when they come in. And so we work through our Water Conservation Department as well, or division, to just ensure that that code is, or that ordinance is implemented for landscape irrigation. Implementing California Green Building Code standards. Again, this is not something that our department runs directly, but these are items that are associated with building and planning. And so these are just more efficient fixtures and appliances that are installed when new homes or apartments are built. And then implementing best management practices of the California Water Efficiency Partnership. This used to be called the California Water Urban Conservation Council, and it identifies various best practices, landscape audits, large landscape audits, water-wise house calls, et cetera, for our customers. So those are, a suite of items that the city does to help with the system optimization review. that we began back in 2012, but also what we do on an annual basis. I'll move on to page 305. Back in 2012, Addendum No.1 to the Environmental Impact Report essentially analyzed an alternative water supply for the plan area, which was about 5,600 acre feet. That water supply was also water that was conserved under Senate Bill X7-7. And what the city did back in 2012 was take an action to approve Addendum No.1 that allowed the city to use the conserved water from the System Optimization Review Program and other efforts for building of the Folsom Plan area. And that's Resolution 9096, and then I'll discuss Resolution 9097 on the next slide, which is page 306, or slide 6. So Resolution 9097 was a water
Marcus?
supply. Yes.
Before you move on, I just want to remind everybody that 5,600 acre feet of water was predominantly the water that was saved by repair of the Willow Hill pipeline. We did that on purpose because we knew at the time that was an estimate that as long as we were able to retain that conserved water, we could only use it in a new service area, because at the time, the Folsom Plan area was not in the city of Folsom service area. So that conserved water could only be used in a new service area. And I think that's a very important distinction to just remind people of here.
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Howe. That is correct. The conserved water under SBX 7-7, we were not able to then take that conserved water and give it back to the customers that conserved it, because ultimately that's not conserving the water. So that is correct, and thanks for the clarification. For page 306, in Resolution 9097 from the December City Council meeting, included a water supply and facilities financing plan for the Folsom Plan area, which essentially outlined the requirements the requirements of what the landowners south of Highway 50 were to pay for, and some projects that they were going to implement after 2012 that also made that 5,000 acre feet of water available. So they paid for projects that occurred prior to 2012, and then they were paying for some projects post-2012, and that was included in the water supply agreement. It also identified the water that was made available, and that 5,000 acre feet or a 5,000 acre foot contract the city has with the Bureau of Reclamation was previously water that was paid for by the East area. So shortly after 2012, we were also able to reduce the surcharge for the East area on the residential side by about about two-thirds, because they were previously paying for this 5,000 acre feet of water. It's a take or pay contract, so whether we use 0 acre feet or 5,000 acre feet, that water, that 5,000 acre feet had to be paid for every year, regardless of how much was used. The next item is just the previous costs that were paid for by the landowners, which was approximately $2.3 million in prior projects and planning. And then, as I mentioned, there are other items in the facilities financing plan and agreement that were post-2012. And then one item that's in there, because I think we were all aware that when initial development and building starts, the full 5,600 acre feet of water is not needed. And so one of the articles within the agreement allows for the city to transfer or sell surplus water that is not needed in the plan area. So that is what we're proposing to do with the actions tonight. With that, I'll move to page 3. Oh, just real quick, before I move to the next page, I do want to make it clear, though, that this water that we are looking to transfer is in excess of all demands north and south of Highway 50 combined. So we're projecting maybe to need around 18,500 or so acre feet in calendar year 2020. That's all covered by the two other contracts that the city has, one for 22,000 acre feet and another for 7,000 acre feet. So this sale of water is in excess to current demands. Page 307, or slide 7, is what Addendum No. 2 covers. It does cover the proposed one-year transfer of up to 5,000 acre feet. It does include a reduction in surface water deliveries to Aerojet. So the city previously would deliver raw water to Aerojet for their non-potable industrial purposes. Aerojet has done some configuration on site with their remediated groundwater facilities, and under a 2007 agreement between the city and Aerojet, Aerojet has been able to make use of that remediated groundwater in lieu of the city supplying raw surface water for non-potable industrial uses. The addendum evaluates releases from Folsom Reservoir. So we had a technical team as well as an environmental team that helped with this, you know, from a modeling standpoint, but also any environmental impacts. Evaluated the flows along the American River, flows in the Delta, because this water would make its way down the American River into the Sacramento River and into the Delta, where the Department of Water Resources would pump this water at their Banks pumping plant. So through the technical work as well as the environmental work, the conclusion is that the proposed transfer of the 5,000 acre feet would not result in any new or more severe impacts that were discussed in the previous project EIR EIS. And then on page 308, or slide number 8, just to summarize, the proposed transfer is up to 5,000 acre feet of pre-1914 water. The identified potential buyer is the state water contractors, and they represent a number of state water contractors that receive water from the Department of Water Resources. And this is their dry year transfer program. And we're just working through a point of contact at the state water contractors, as opposed to trying to go and find individual buyers and have potentially 6, 5 different types of agreements. The state water contractors is working on behalf of a number of agencies just to make the transition and transaction, I believe, smoother. The proposed cost is to sell is $350 per acre foot. And the proposed transfer would occur from July 1st through October 8th. And as I mentioned before, the water would be delivered to the Department of Water Resources pumping facilities. And with that, page 309 is reserved for any questions. I do have our environmental consultant on the line from ESA, Kathy, and I believe our technical analysis team from MBK, Walter, is also on the line, and then Ryan from BKS is our outside legal counsel.
Okay, any questions for Marcus? None. Okay. If we don't have any questions or comments, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll move the item. Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Howell, a second from Councilmember Gaylord. Could you please call the roll?
Councilmember Kozlowski,
Yes.
Sheldon,
Yes.
Gaylord,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
and Aquino.
Yes. And the next item, please, Krista.
Your last item this evening is new business item 16. This is resolution number 10470, a resolution of the City Council authorizing deferral of certain development impact fees for the Parkway Apartment Project. Presenting this evening will be Senior Engineer Dan Wolf.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. This is Dan Wolf with the Community Development Department, and I'm going to give you a brief oral presentation on the request for deferral of certain impact fees for the Parkway Apartment project. This proposed project is located in the southwest corner of Blue Ravine and Oak Avenue Parkway and consists of 72 units of affordable housing. These are rental apartments. This project entitlement was extended back in March of last year from the Planning Commission, and since then has received state and federal low-income housing tax credit, which has now allowed this project to move forward. These types of projects tend to have a much more strict budget in a sense, given the fact that it's affordable housing. That is why this applicant is requesting deferment of impact fees until the construction is near its completion. As our recorded agreement will state, developer has 15 months to pay in full or until the close of the permanent loan, which is directly tied to the first occupancy, whichever comes first. The developer is projecting that the project will take up to 14 months to complete from the time of first permit issuance. This time allows the developer to sell these credits that it receives to investors so they can close the permanent loan. Allowing the developer to defer certain impact fees until this time, it reduces the amount of interest that would accrue if that payment had to be paid prior to the start of construction. So per Chapter 1660 of the Folsom Municipal Code, the max allowable percent deferment in this case is 75%, which of the fees which can be deferred. This comes out to about $1 million. So this impact to the city over a 15-month period is really negligible, has a negligible impact to us. Therefore, staff supports the City Council authorizing deferral of certain impact fees for the Parkway Apartment project. And with that, I'd be happy to try and answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dan? Anyone?
I'll move the item.
Okay, Councilmember Gaylord, motion, and Councilmember Kozlowski, second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kozlowski?
Yes.
Sheldon?
Yes.
Gaylord?
Yes.
Howell?
Yes.
And Aquino?
Yes. And we will move on to City Manager report.
Hello, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'd like to start by reading the City of Folsom statement on racially motivated injustice and violence. The City of Folsom condemns any racially motivated injustice and violence. Black Lives Matter, period. We thank our community for their engagement in 4 extraordinarily meaningful and peaceful demonstrations over the past week. The city has heard this heartfelt expression of sadness, horror, and frustration displayed locally and nationwide over the unnecessary and tragic death of George Floyd and all victims of immoral and unethical behavior based on racism. We denounce racism and all forms of discrimination. We embrace diversity and inclusion and reject hate and discrimination in all forms. We are committed to making a positive difference, and we take a stand when our core value of treating every person with dignity and respect is compromised. We will never tolerate racism, discrimination, hatred, injustice, or violence of any form. Our city is committed to ensuring that our organization and actions reflect a climate and culture that is based on respect, dignity, and inclusion. We don't have all the answers, but we are listening and we are learning. We recognize that words are not enough. Words must be backed by meaningful action, and we will engage in community conversations as to what those actions might look like. Folsom does many things that we can and should be proud of, but now is the time to look at what more we can do, because we can do better. Thank you again, and more to come. The 7th Annual Community Service Day is still planned for Saturday, September 19th, 2020. This single-day event mobilizes thousands of volunteers to make an impact by participating in service projects throughout Folsom. Community Service Day will likely look a little different this year, as public health orders and social distance requirements in September are unknown at this time. We want to hear from Folsom nonprofit organizations and community leaders about how we can best serve our community during this time. Please submit project proposals online by Friday, July 10th, and be sure to specify how social distancing will be accomplished at your project site. We also plan to expand drive-through donation sites to collect items for community organizations in need. If your organization would like to collect donated items from the community, please submit an online interest form by Friday, July 10th. And you can complete both of these submittals at our website for Community Service Day, which is folsomcommunityservice.org. And then my a very important announcement for tonight is that Ernie Sheldon was recently honored with awards presented by the California Park and Recreation Society and the California Association of Park and Recreation Commissioners and Board Members. The CPRS Service Award of Excellence, Champion of the Community, and boy, we all know Councilmember Sheldon, Vice Mayor Sheldon is a champion, is a statewide award bestowed annually on individuals who volunteer and provide support and services in their community that furthers the mission and quality delivery of park and recreation services, programs, and facilities in their community. The CAPR-CBM President's Award is bestowed upon an individual who demonstrates leadership, knowledge of park and recreation programs and activities, and service beyond expectation. This seldom presented award is determined by the organization's board of directors. Vice Mayor Sheldon is a 32-year resident of Folsom who is recognized for his long-term service to the community, including his current role as the city's vice mayor. He has served on the city council since 2008. Prior to his election to the city council, Ernie served on Folsom Parks and Recreation Commission for 2 decades. So I just wanted to congratulate and thank Vice Mayor Sheldon, who I consider a dear friend. So congratulations, Ernie, from all of us. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Bravo,
Mike,
Ernie.
Do you have anything to report, Mike?
2 things. We had our Policy and Innovation SACOG committee meeting earlier this week, and nothing much to report there, but I will say that with regard to the item number 5 that was in our consent agenda, it outlines, if anybody goes and reads that, it outlines a very specific suggestion that was made by our DPW star planning staff, and then also by a number of other community staffs that have similar roles. And the June meeting of the full board is where we will get a preview of some, what I'm assuming will be a counter proposal from the SACOG staff. So that's coming up over the next couple of months. So that's the one additional bit with that. I sit on the Legislative Affairs Committee of the League of Cities representing the city of Folsom. And towards the end of last week, in the midst of all of the turmoil that has been going on, we had a very, very long and robust discussion about one particular bit of legislation that is passing through the California legislature that is called ACA 5, which is a proposed change to the California Constitution that would reverse the changes that were made to the California Constitution in 1996, which at the time was called Prop 209. At that time, back in the 90s, it effectively ended affirmative action programs for state agencies and local agencies. And it was in response to a series of legal challenges to the admissions policies at the University of California, Michigan, and Texas, which I thought was an odd coincidence since I've lived in all 3 of those places for significant times. But this is passing through the legislature right now, and on the surface, it seems like a sensible reversal in light of the fact that admissions to our California public colleges have had eroding admissions of minority students for the entire time that change to the Constitution has been in place. I personally don't have a strong opinion about it right at this moment, but I would like everybody to please consider that. We should probably at some point consider a support comment on that particular bill. And if there are Folsom residents out there listening to this, I would really welcome you sharing your opinions with me or through the city manager with the remainder of the council. So that's ACA 5, just kind of a heads up that it's working its way and seems sensible, but we should reflect on it a bit given everything that's going on right now. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Carrie, you have anything to report out? I think you're muted, Carrie.
I know, I hit the wrong button. Okay, so we had the RT, the Zoom or WebEx video RT board meeting last night. There amazingly was still a surplus through this current calendar year despite the drop in revenue. It looks like RT is going to be okay. There's not going to be any furloughs. The budget for next year is going to be balanced, and RT is expecting to get back up very soon to 85% of the normal schedule. So I think that's all good news. Things are still continuing to move forward with Measure A at STA, although we have an STA board meeting again this Thursday, and nothing new to report on the Southeast Connector JPA. But separate from that, I just want to thank all of our staff. I think Elaine's going to be due for a really good vacation when this is all over. Our staff has been working, and as has Sarah, working ridiculously long hours given everything that's happened in the last 90 days, and I just want to thank each and every one of those staff members, and particularly Sarah. Being relatively new on the council and serving the residents of the city of Folsom so well as its mayor during completely unprecedented times, my immense thanks goes out to all of you. And to the residents of the city of Folsom, slow down, stoplights mean you, stop signs mean you, and please pay attention because there's a ton of kids that are out there that are paying no attention to where they're crossing streets, and frankly, it's not even just kids, it's adults as well. Please, please, please drive carefully. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Roger, any council comments?
Yeah, I have a few actually. Essentially, I just wanted to give kind of a shout out to Ashley Osborne, who she is putting her actions, her voices and actions and passion behind Folsom for Justice, and her organization actually held a pretty large rally, a couple of them over the weekend, one of which served almost 1,300 folks that peacefully protest at City Hall and many other areas. And I just wanted to give her, recommendation for everything she's putting together and showing that, when folks assemble for their cause and the right cause, it can be very beneficial and peaceful. But I also, on the same hand, wanted to extend the same gratitude to Folsom PD and the City of Folsom staff for, not necessarily being in the limelight, but just providing the support structure for Ashley and her crew to assemble and voice their concerns for what they believe and what many believe are issues in today's society. So with that said, Ashley did email today about a possible Folsom anti-racism proclamation, so I sent that to City Manager today, and hopefully that could be something we can look into. And with that, I just say we are a community that is ever learning and ever expanding and ever grateful to folks who put their passion and their work ethic behind their beliefs and they create change. So with that, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Sheldon.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank the City of Folsom for the submission of the Park and Rec Awards. They caught me by surprise completely because I've had other things pending. It's a great city. I gave half my life to the city, and I don't regret a thing. But I really appreciate all the effort of all the staff, all the departments that supported it, all my colleagues. And not much more I can say, but thank you, and thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Ernie, and congratulations to you. Very, very well deserved.
Hear, hear.
I had a LAFCO meeting last week, which is the first one we've had in a while. Really the only thing of significance on the agenda was that we approved the annexation of the Rio del Oro development in Rancho Cordova to the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and the Sacramento Area Sewer District, and we will not be meeting in July. I also want to thank all the folks who gathered in Folsom this past week to publicly condemn racially motivated injustice and violence. We greatly appreciate that all 4 events were peaceful. I want to thank our police officers who monitored the events from a very respectful distance and who also provided aid to some protesters who were hot and dehydrated. It was over 100 degrees on Tuesday, Thursday. So also want to thank all the residents who have called and emailed this week with suggestions and requests to keep the conversation going, which we will definitely do. And last but not least, happy birthday to my beautiful daughter, her last year as a teenager. So with that, we are adjourned.